Today, I'm going to be giving you a history of the Boiling Isles, an unauthorized history, if you will, and really a history of the Demon Realm as a whole, and how it went from a place with giant roaming titans to the dying world we see by the time Luce gets there. My name is Deepcut, welcome back to Cartoon Universe, and before we jump into it, this is your last chance to get one of these Owl House Streamly prints signed by your favorite voice actors from the show. We had a lot of fun interviewing the cast this month. I'll put a link to that interview in the pinned comment down below for those who missed it, but while you're down there, use the Streamly link to look at all the cool prints you can get signed by your favorite characters' actors. They should be up until the end of June, so once the link stops working, they're gone, so don't miss out if this is something you really want. The history of the Demon Realm really starts before the Boiling Isles as we knew them were formed, when the Titan was a living creature who roamed the Demon Realm. He was just one of many Titans, massive magical beings that inhabited this realm. We don't know much about what the world was like before the Boiling Isles, but we do know that the Titans were being killed off by a cosmic childlike god known as the Collector. The Collector sees Titans as the only people he can really play with, as a single touch was enough to blow Monster Bellows to smithereens. And while he will likely return, most other characters, even powerful ones, would not be so lucky. The Collector sees himself as playing games with the Titans, and when he kills them, he seems to just think of himself as winning. His most discussed games are hide and seek or tag, something I theorize came about from the Titans literally trying to hide from him so they aren't brutally killed. By the time the Boiling Isles Titan was being tracked down, he had managed to discover a magical symbol of sorts that makes someone invisible to the Collector. This symbol was used to hide King in some ancient structure where he would also be protected by a guardian of stone. King carved this symbol into his collar, thinking that it might actually be his name, allowing him to remain invisible when he first confronts the Collector. This place King's father left him at doesn't seem to be new in King's time, and in fact seems to have quite a bit of history, with a lot of different rooms that can be accessed and tons of other guardians, as if this place was known for raising many Titan babies. In his egg, King was able to hear what I believe to be the sounds of his father battling the Collector before passing away, locking the Collector beneath his bones, as he claims in the rhymes, protecting his son King, the last of the Titans, and even if there were any other baby Titans around at this point, the cult of the Collector was well on their way to killing them off. Generally, Titans may live much longer than the Boiling Isles Titan did, at least until their child hatches perhaps, but it seems that the children are meant to be raised by these stone guardians instead of the Titan's parents, and that at some point are meant to be served, worshipped, or taken care of by the sentient life that springs up from the decomposing Titan's muck. So far, all of the other large-sized Titan bodies remaining in the ocean have seemed entirely abandoned or used only by people who wish to hunt the rest of the Titans, and if King were to die, that would mean no more decomposing Titans for life to spring up from in the Demon Realm. Some creatures from Earth even seemingly came from this muck, such as giraffes, and maybe even possums, though possums may be a creature from Earth that accidentally made its way to the Boiling Isles instead of vice versa. Witches and demons would eventually appear on the island and sometime later would learn that they can use magic by simply drawing circles in the air. It is uncertain if they evolved this ability over time or always had it and simply had no way of knowing that they could do it without first understanding magic on the glyph level first, sort of the opposite of how Luce went about things. Life seems to exist on other Titans, though we only really see this in the form of witches who worship the Collector. With circle-based magic, the Boiling Isles seem to thrive well into the Deadwardian era, with people using magic to benefit themselves and the less fortunate who either didn't have magic or didn't have the skills to use it properly. Around this time, Philip Wittebane and his brother would make it to the Boiling Isles and begin exploring while looking for a way home. These human brothers grew up in a time where witch trials were popular, and it shaped Philip's worldview, though his brother not so much. Philip saw witches as a threat to humans and evil because of their use of magic, but his brother, according to artwork we see in Bellows' Mindscape, or when his history is being projected to him by Gus, fell in love with a witch. Philip deemed this unacceptable and murdered his brother because of it. From here, the witch may have cursed Bellows as seen in one of the images. The woman is pregnant in the image, a detail I imagine means something, and perhaps it will tie the Wittebane family into the Clawthorn family, and we will one day realize that Bellows is just some great uncle of Ida's. Regardless, the witch seemed to put a curse on Belos as he fled. We don't know if this curse put on by the witch is the one we see affecting Belos, as it has been indicated that it came from using glyph magic incorrectly, and while the Palisman essence seems to keep it at bay, the collector has indicated that this may be the reason that Belos is having a hard time keeping his human form, so who's to say exactly what mishmash combination of magic is going on here. Regardless of how Belos got this curse, he blames wild magic and witches as a whole for it, making me think that it is his brother's witch wife that did curse him. She came from a powerful family that had access to glyph magic, perhaps explaining why Edith in particular was aware of some sort of magic system that existed before drawing a circle in the air became a thing. Despite having all the ingredients for a portal door, Belos would stay in the Boiling Isles and use the Collector to create a plan to drain all witches of magic, and perhaps kill them along the way. This was done with the Coven system, which limits the magic of a witch, seemingly makes them ill, and can have grave side effects as we saw in flashbacks in Hollow Mine. These glyphs are used as part of a draining spell with the Day of Unity, used to convince the Coven heads that they will inherit a paradise with the Boiling Isles Titan in the human realm. But the two plans of Belos are actually unconnected. As we saw in the recent finale, his plan was to kill all the witches and just return to Earth, leaving the human realm as it is, and knowing that witches could never overpower humans if they are all dead or at least magicless. Along the way, the Collector would teach Belos how to create Grimwalkers, artificial life forms that can be based off of an existing person, in this case, Belos' brother. Belos saw his brother marrying a witch as a betrayal, and no matter how many Grimwalkers of Hunter he makes, they always turn against Belos in the end, not because they have an inherent need to betray, but because once they start to see what Belos is really doing, who he is as a person on even a subtle level, they likely lean into trying to help all the others of the Boiling Isles, as they would naturally see Belos as a threat even if they don't really know his full plan. After the Day of Unity, the Collector was released, of course, and while he stopped it from completing, the witches likely lost most of the magic drained during the ceremony, and the Collector has begun to reconstruct the Boiling Isles into his own little playhouse that the gang will likely discover once they finish up their adventures on Earth and eventually return. I like to think Ida and the others will be trapped in a creepy game where the Collector makes them play hide and seek, with a setup similar to how Ida hid from the Emperor using her owl house as the little base, but with lots of demonic twists and turns from the Collector's childlike mind. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below, and while you're down there, check out that Streamily link to see all the cool prints available that you can get signed by your favorite Owl House voice actors. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it when we interview them again for Season 3, and I'll see you guys next time.